Right, so we're at, yes, the very edge of the Neverwinter Wood. So last session was ended right as you guys hit the tree line. So I've got to ask, are you advancing into the woods, or are you going, those are some orcs, we'll go elsewhere? Like, what's the plan? What's the party deciding?
We go into the woods because we already killed the orcs.
Yeah, those like
Some of.
those like 6 people were the only orcs in these entire woods. That's definitely the case.
Yeah, but like their chieftain was there.
One of them, yeah. But I do still think that we should probably go into the woods
Well,
because
if there's more orcs, we'll just kill them.
ostensibly, yeah, like that's kind of yeah. Like I think we take our chances in the woods.
We
Does it
only
look
had
like
a
there's
short
any walking
rest,
path?
right?
I think yes, yeah, we haven't had a long rest yet because I still
Yes, haven't
have
had a
2
long
hit
rest.
die.
Okay.
But if we get into the woods, we might be able to make camp because it's been a day, right? Like we're wheedling through the day.
I'm sorry, weird question. Did we have a long rest between like not this session, the session before last time and last time? So like 2 sessions ago and then 1 session ago, did we have a short rest in between?
We had a long rest in between those.
Yeah, long rest. Yeah, sure. Okay, so I do have to hit that.
Yes.
Do we see any evidence that we can get the cart through the woods? Because that's our next issue in my brain.
That's a good point.
There's
We're coming
certainly
up
no
into-
path in the woods. However, those warg that rode out of the woods to get to you were pretty fucking wide.
Yeah.
So yes.
You would believe so. I mean, you can't see all the way through the woods to know that you could, but you can you can get the horse and cart in right now on the edge of it. There are like trees wide enough apart that you could drive between them. There's often like roots, so driving the cart over roots is going to be pretty bumpy. There is the possibility that if you drive this cart too hard or too fast, which the horse hasn't been going fast up to this point, this cart is heavy, you could break the wheel of the cart and then it would be kind of stranded. But yeah, it's possible that it goes through. And I think some people in the part have mending.
At least one person.
Boy, if it's a good thing that our druid has wooden armor, otherwise mending wouldn't be in the arsenal.
Yeah.
It's a good thing you're a 3rd level wizard at minimum, so you can swap out your cantrips.
Which, by the way, has the druid's armor been tended to with mending?
It has, yes. John did it when we were traveling up to the woods.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, basically during the short rest, actually.
You are heading into the woods then?
I think so. Like, kind of a better the orc you know type deal. Like,
Yeah, the orc you know versus the dragon waiting to pounce.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I will ask a question I haven't asked in a hot second while traveling. What speed are you going at? Are you trying to stealth?
I think given how slow the cart moves, on account of how like overladen it is, yes, I think we should be moving slow and stealthy because we can't move the cart quickly. So we may as well go slow and just
slow
take
and
the benefit
steady.
from
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Having the cart as heavy as it is it even possible to stealth it?
Not the cart. You guys can be hidden, so you can hide like amongst the cart or throw things over to yourself and not be terribly obvious. But this is not an avoid detection stealth. This is just we're going slow to try and notice other things before those other things notice us first for an ambush kind of thing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you start moving into the woods. Anyone that's trying to like, well, you know what? How do you guys progress into these woods? I'll just ask that rather than say any leading things.
So I don't have any actual spells that would do it at this moment. Mostly it's all like locating and kind of like sensing beasts. So I think Croc is just going to use just like their innate ability to survive in dense foliage to kind of like get a lay of the land, plot a route, and try to take the horse in as sensible direction and speed and whatnot as they can.
So you're trying to avoid, like, trying to find basically flat ground to take this cart over in the direction you guys want to go. Okay.
Effectively, yeah.
So you can make me a survival check for that. Are any of you other guys worried about the route, or are you just staying with the cart? Like, what are you guys doing while Croc is planning the route and trying to guide you through this forest?
Surprisingly, trying to help Croc.
Okay.
Oh.
So Croc can have that 14 instead of an 11, so Al is assisting.
I think the knight is going to keep an eye out for any signs of ambush.
So does that D6 take it up to a 19?
Yes, it does.
Perfect. Knight, you can make me a perception check. Is anyone helping the knight in the looking for ambush roll?
Yeah, John was going to be using his owl to help scout around until we get a groove going.
Perfect. Then Knight can roll with advantage.
Perception 16.
Okay, 16. The Knight, in looking for ambushes, you get like a lot of movement in this wood. Like, there are creatures around which you're not super used to. Like, so far in your travels in the plains, there have been like 0 creatures that you've seen moving about. Like, no life really. This wood has life in it. Like, the trees are cold and it's bitter, and a lot of the plant life has died down, but there are still like creatures. Like, you see a squirrel move from tree to tree, which is like, oh wow, there are things alive here. And then like a bird fly from one place to another. As for like ambushes, you see signs of like orcs having traveled through areas, but you don't directly see any orcs.
Okay.
Yet.
I'm still going to keep... Oh, great. I'm going to keep an arrow knocked anyway, just at my side.
Okay. So that is what Croc, Al, John, and the Knight are doing. Is Luna hanging out in a pocket?
Yeah, I am literally just sleeping in Al's pocket.
Okay.
I'm
Sleeping in
wiped
Al's
out after
pocket.
that combat.
Yep, sleeping in Al's pocket, trying to recover. And Vren is, I've got to say, a lot more nervous than usual, because lacking all of Vren's spell slots has not put Vren in a good mood. Vren is quite jumpy. He is like jumping at kind of every shadow. There are in fact a couple of moments where like something moves or like rustles a bush. It's just a deer, and Vren shoots a fucking firebolt at it, like just panic mode. And then like tries to calm himself down, like as the deer flees, and be like, all right, it was nothing, it was nothing. All right, so that's the mood of the group as you advance into the Neverwinter Wood. We're going to advance. It is about half a day's worth of travel before you start encountering very obvious signs of humanoid foot traffic, and I mean fresh prints of humanoid foot traffic. Both Al, Croc, and the Knight and John's groups like notice these, because you are both like doing things that would involve fresh prints traffic. No, bad.
That's
Luna.
what you said.
Fresh print foot traffic. Fresh prints in the ground. I hear it every time I say it now, and I hate it. I can't say fresh prints without it sounding like the Fresh Prince. You are derailing my narration. Anyway, there are fresh footprints in the ground in the area you're in, and fresh enough that you guys like. As soon as one of you find them, it's like, okay, no, Sleepy, no. You guys all go, all right, there's at least a, like, orc party near here. So do you guys want to try and track the direction they were going or coming in and try and avoid them? Or, like, do you just continue on the direction you're going that is going to make the best speed through this forest?
My question is, how close are we getting to like sleep time?
It's
Because it took quite a good chunk of the day to get to the edge of the woods.
this is exactly the problem, is that you've just encountered foot traffic and you're all getting really tired, and it's like, we want to bed down soon. This area seems dangerous because we know there are orcs roaming about.
I mean,
Oh,
it's already sleep time for me.
Yeah, Luna is already asleep. You know what? You can be like 2 hours into your rest.
I mean, I've been sleeping since we started the short rest, so I don't know how many hours that is.
I said half a day.
Wow.
Oh.
So like, I said half a day of travel. I'm going to give you 4 hours so far.
And it's how many for a full rest?
8.
Unless you're an
Oh.
elf.
Yeah, if you're an elf, you'd have already got that rest in. That would be done for you. You'd have had a long rest. But you can rest in pockets. No one else is able to have a long rest right now. You have the rest in pocket ability.
Yay.
Why do I hear snoring?
Resident sleeper.
so John wants to avoid them.
Yes.
Well, I think I'm up for a fight, but if no one else is, then I'm not going to be much use alone.
Croc's like, I mean, I feel like I could go for a fight. I'm not that not terribly tapped out, but
Okay.
of course we don't know what we'd be fighting, and that's
Hear
kind of
me
the
out.
problem.
I have no problem with fighting, but I don't think it's a very good idea for us to fight without Luna at full power.
Or Ren. Remember how he had all his magic stolen?
Yes, I remember.
Not to mention, we don't
You-
have any idea of the number. There were 3-4 orcs last time, and that was touch and go for a while. What if there's 30 of them?
As Vren is mentioned and John is saying this, like Vren is on the back of the cart, like full on having a panic attack. Like
Ooh.
doing his best to keep it to himself, but full on, like, arms wrapped around himself, staring at the ground, like trembling.
Well,
So, scouting party to try and avoid them? Question mark?
Well, we could scout them out, see if we could take them, if not, avoid them. Get
yeah,
an idea of their numbers.
that
It could
be a
just be a
very good idea.
patrol.
Can we get like any indication of the numbers from the footprints, or is it all over the place?
Make me a survival check to get numbers from the footprints.
Croc will assist.
Then whoever has the better survival can roll with advantage.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Still a 16. Okay, this party of orcs would be about 12.
That is that's double what we fought last time. Although the last time they had wargs.
Yeah, they were wargs. These are all on foot, all coming from the same direction, which is unfortunately close to the direction that you're moving in.
So there could be an orc camp in the direction we're going.
Shit. I mean,
We could just add
Ugh.
some time onto our journey by trying to give them a berth. Like these are big woods, like 120 miles across. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we could just try to give them a wide berth.
Problem is, we'll eventually need to sleep. Well, we, and I point at everyone except Croc, will
Yeah.
need to sleep.
Everyone is feeling pretty tired except Luna, who is fast asleep.
I mean, if we look at it this way, would we rather set an ambush for 12 orcs or have 12 orcs set an ambush for us? Which would it be?
And I would definitely rather ambush them.
I
Okay,
think we've
so
all
the
proved
tracks
that-
were moving away, and they moved from a particular location. So you guys believe that you must have like passed these orcs or just like not encountered them, and they are somewhere off in a direction, and you are heading towards the camp. You don't know if that camp is going to be like huge and full of orcs or like completely unoccupied because all the orcs have left or what. So looking for the orcs would mean doubling back the way you came, but you can give the camp a wide berth.
Croc is just going to look over to John and say, do you think your owl could make it through the trees and get an idea of what this orc camp is like?
It's definitely possible.
Yes, great idea. Ren also summons his owl and goes, I'll send mine to find the orc band. You send yours to find out about the camp.
All right.
Can we do this while moving away from both?
Yeah. As long as I'm on the cart.
Away from both would be going like not in the direction you guys want to progress in, but you could move like, so say that if the orc camp is in front of you, the orc warband was heading behind you, you could go to the right or left to be moving away from them. But it wouldn't be the direction that you want to go in.
Yeah, but it's safe for now. I mean, we're trying to find somewhere to rest anyway, right?
And if we went northeast or northwest, sort of like moving in, like kind of towards the orc camp, but off center from it.
Mm-hmm.
So that if the orc camp is deserted, we could go there.
So you want to get like, do you want to skirt around it and get no closer to it but no further from it? Like skirt around and then when the owl gets back to you, know something?
Kind of, yeah. That way we're still moving and, yeah.
Okay, cool. Make a perception check for your owl, John. And I will have to do the same with an owl stats I totally have on hand.
It's just a +1. It is awful.
I think owls get advantage on perception
+1
checks.
for an owl.
Or keen sight or keen hearing, one of the two.
I thought owls were keen sight.
They're
I've seen
both.
it
This is
sight.
this is
Yeah.
sight.
Both.
Yeah.
All right.
They're
Well,
keen hearing and sight, so yeah, they just get advantage.
yeah. So you can. All right. 15 for your owl, a 14 for Vren's owl.
They have +3 to perception, not +1 because they're proficient in perception.
Yeah.
Okay, that brings it up to a 16 for I think Vren and a 17 for John's.
Correct.
Okay. So, John, your owl comes back and I can't remember how the familiar thing works. Like, can they translate ideas back to you, or are you just looking through this thing's eyes while it searches?
I'm looking through this thing's eyes, which is why I specified I had to be on the cart.
Okay, perfect. So, John and Friend are kind of side by side on the cart, like eyes glazed over. John with his incredibly scary necromantic orb staff, and Vren just looking a bit like worried permanently now. John, what you see is a lot of tents. Like, you find this camp, there are plumes of smoke heading up into the sky, which, like, as soon as your owl, like, breaks the tree line and goes above it, it can immediately zone in on this. It's like, oh, they must be there. Like, you just go over, like, have to, like, struggle to get below the tree line again, because it's very thick and covered in snow, which has been melting. So it's just like it's a mess right now. But you get like back below the tree line in your owl's body, which is again with the Find Familiar spell. Do you actually control the owl while you're in it, or do you just see through its eyes and it's piloting itself?
It depends on the range. So once it
Right.
gets far enough away,
So which are you doing? Is what I'm asking.
I would be controlling it until it was it a mile, half mile? Oh, okay, 100 feet. So yeah, it's on its own.
Right.
Yeah, but I think once you jump into its head, you can stay in its head until you break that connection.
And the 100 feet is for you to cast a spell through it, not for you to like.
And to communicate telepathically with it.
Yeah, to communicate with it. So like I've always figured that I can't control it unless I can communicate it with it. So
Yeah.
out of 100 feet.
So
it's on its own.
it's piloting itself. You're just seeing it right now.
Yeah.
So it goes below the tree line. It stays like in a tree, but like is peering down at these owls, which it's just a bird in the woods. None of them pay any attention to it, even if they do hear it. There are 2 or 3 orcs in this camp that you can see. There's a lot of tents. There's a lot of tents, but there are only like a couple of visible orcs around. There's a fire going with a big old fire pit, like a big old bonfire in the middle of this thing, as orcs are trying to keep warm. They all, like, even the tents have the 5 splotch marks that are like the sign that they are worshippers of Tiamat. However, there is one big main tent where you can hear, like, even through your owl at a distance away, you can hear someone growling and then, like, meaty thuds of flesh on flesh. And then, like, every time there is an impact, someone snarling in, funnily enough, a language you understand. Someone is speaking Draconic and having Orcish shouted back at them, and there's a lot of punching.
Interesting. What are they saying in Draconic?
You know, it's mostly cursing. It's most like there's a little bit of just. It doesn't seem like the orc understands what's being shouted at him, but the orc is yelling. And do you speak Orcish at all?
I do not, no.
Okay, perfect. So the orc is yelling, and it's like this big, like deep, bellowing, resonant sound. But you don't understand what's being said. And it's not like it's a call and response thing where like the Draconic guy's waiting for the orc to say something and then responding. He is just giving it the fuck you, fuck everything you're about, I fucking hate you, I'm not telling you a goddamn fucking thing. Like, it's just a stream of obscenities. Like, one of them is being punched. You don't know which. But neither of them are having it. Like, they are just fucking going for it at each other. Mostly verbal, and like occasionally the Draconic guy, like his flow of sentence structure breaks when you hear one of the thudding sounds.
So it sounds to me like it's an interrogation.
Could be. Super, like, lots of swearing. And swearing in Draconic is like one of those things where like no language quite gets the hatred of a swear word across like Draconic. Like, it is beautiful for swearing at someone because there is so much viciousness in the Draconic language because that is the nature of the language. But this guy is really, like, it sounds like if a bard were like strumming along, this could be a song.
Song of hate?
A song of hate, yep.
Love it.
A song of beautiful hate.
Imagine it's
Bard,
like
you're talking like a heavy metal bard.
Dragon Bard.
Yeah, you could imagine that, but actually, and this is to John. There is something like he is swearing and he is using a very vicious language. There is a sonorous and almost beautiful quality to this draconic voice. Like, it's just nice to listen to, even though he's swearing at a guy, and from what you understand or have inferred, possibly being interrogated, it's still nice to listen to.
Did you say there were charming qualities to it?
No, because he is raging and swearing at someone, but it is still just pleasant to listen to.
I imagine
Alright.
Draconic's one of those languages where if you don't speak it and someone's swearing at you in Draconic, you know that they're swearing at you in Draconic.
Yeah, but sometimes even if they're just asking directions, it sounds like they're swearing at you in Draconic.
Draconic
Yeah.
is a German equivalent in the
I-
Forgotten Realms.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I like
How
German.
far is the camp from where I took off with the owl?
Honestly, a
Rough.
lot closer than you would like it to be. You could
Oh.
probably get there in 10 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, with that, I want to snap my fingers and hoof the owl out. Back to its pocket dimension.
You come back and Vren is still catatonic. He's still searching with his owl.
Okay. So, and John's gonna point in the direction of the camp. The camp is like right there. Very close. Maybe 10 minutes tops. They saw 3 orcs, lots of tents. Like there's like when everyone's home, there's gonna be a lot of people there. But I didn't see too many people right now. And it sounds like they have a captive or a prisoner speaking Draconic. So there might be a potential ally in there.
Wait,
Unless they're
Speaking
allied,
Draconic,
unless they're allied with Tiamat, in which case it could just
The,
be.
the orcs are allied with Tiamat.
but
They've got the crest.
Well, in that case,
Mm.
whatever draconic thing that they have in there is going to be opposed to Tiamat, probably.
Likely, it could be someone like Vren here.
Orcs are like begrudgingly working for Tiamat.
I mean, probably the orcs don't like anybody, right?
no.
well, they
like
certainly
orcs.
don't like us.
And I don't like them too much either.
Well, we could wait for nightfall, and it's not too far off now. We could try and
You don't have to wait any time for
Yeah.
nightfall.
I feel like we should. Go
It's
ahead.
none of
Croc.
our business.
they might have supplies.
We have
Weapons.
a cart full of supplies.
We have a supply, like a cart full of
Oh.
nuts and wine. It's hardly what we
Food.
need.
Like, they might have like artisan tools. We might be able to turn this armor that we're wearing that we really aren't super good with and actually turn it into some kind of a coat. Make it a little bit better.
We could
Some
be
kind of
completely
tools.
murdered by more than a dozen orcs.
You were just saying that you were jazzing up for a fight just a minute ago.
Not fucking a million orcs. You said there's a lot of tents. We almost got killed by 6 orcs because someone doesn't know how to move.
There were
Well,
3
I know infiltration, and I can do this. How
On
many
your
did
own?
you see, roughly? Well, not on my own, but
I saw 3, and I heard another one. There could be more sleeping. There
so
could be more
3.
out on patrol.
Okay.
What I
Well,
can see with the owl is limited.
Camp is sparsely populated. This could be the best time to hit it.
It could
we
be.
could take them out, rescue whoever they've got, and move away.
Or, we just like Al was saying, we ignore this because it's not our problem and get a couple of days head start before the orcs even know we're here.
I mean, someone is making sense.
well,
We're-
I'm sure they're gonna realize that their outriders are missing.
Well, after
And-
a few days, I'm sure they'll send somebody, but it gives us time to move and get ahead.
As you're saying this, you realize one of the reasons you start investigating this is there are tracks leading from the camp going in basically the direction you guys came from or the
Yeah.
direction that the Outriders went.
Yep.
The way I see it is if we hit this camp, we can disperse them, so they're going to be in lesser numbers if we do run into them again.
I mean, that's valid too. I'd prefer it if Ren had magic.
Or Wings, how much healing do you have left?
Not a lot.
I didn't. You'll have to
Yeah,
come out
didn't
with the
hear
pocket. You'll have to come out with the pocket.
Not a lot.
So she can't heal, and we're only alive because of her healing. I'm not in the best of shape, and I'm pretty sure none of us is.
I'm
He has
okay.
0 magic.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
How? Oh, you were almost dead a few hours ago.
I bounced back pretty quickly.
I'm surprised you wouldn't understand. You've bounced back more times than any of us. Oh.
Well, I'm not in shape to fight the same fight we had a few hours ago. I wouldn't survive it now.
Hal doesn't bounce back.
Listen, all I'm saying is it sucks for the prisoner, whoever they are, but it's not. We're not fucking superheroes. It's not our problem.
We're
We're
not
already
doing it
dealing.
for them. That's not
Ooh, I have an
necessarily
idea.
our problem.
Hey, Luna, can you still make someone invisible?
I can.
What if we make the knight invisible, and then they go in there and
Hmm.
rescue that prisoner with as little noise as possible?
It lasts a minute.
No,
No,
invisibility is an hour.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
greater invisibility lasts a minute.
Even if I can't save them, I might be able to bring back some supplies and information on what they've got there.
Yeah, you'd definitely be able to get more knowledge than my owl did. And I can send the owl to keep an eye on you, so that way if anything goes wrong, we can come and help.
I pop my
Oh,
head out the pocket.
That sounds fine. If you want to stay on standby outside the camp, we can. I can rely on you should anything go wrong.
I can make
It's
two
just
of
gonna
you
be really
invisible.
dangerous.
We're all going to fucking die.
Well, how long would you need to get your magic back?
Me?
Yeah.
I mean, I have some magic, but I don't
We're
know
only
if
just
it's enough
starting
to
the
keep
night.
Al alive.
We're only just starting the night. We can wait a couple more hours if need be.
It would be more than a couple hours.
It'd also be nice for Bren to get back with information on where those orcs are. So that might change everything.
It
Ren
could
is,
indeed.
Ren is still catatonic, which means you found the orc camp very quickly, which means the orcs he's looking for, his owl must still be flying around looking.
Yeah.
The other point to mention, of course, is this would probably be the best time to hit the camp while these,
Yeah.
12 or so are out of the camp.
My out of character logic is Luna needs 4 more hours to finish the long nap, so it might be best to attack it now, but it might be more reliable to hit it in 4 hours.
Now, when I was scouting, Mr. Dungeon Master, you said a lot of tents. Could we get like an approximate number? Like if the owl took a minute to count, were we looking at a bunch, like 10 or 30? Over 100?
You didn't count while you were there, so you're just going from memory now. So let me.
Well, I've got an 18 intelligence. Memory's pretty good. It's only been a minute or two.
Yeah, true. Like
ballpark.
20 ballpark?
One-man tents or bigger?
Not all one-man tents.
Okay. So
you'd say there were 2 big tents, couple medium tents, and then mostly one-man tents.
Okay.
And we could account for about 18 orcs, roughly.
Yeah,
out of the camp, plus 6 wargs, and then maybe about 4 in the camp.
Well, damn, that would put us close to that, number.
Yeah, it just means that there might be a couple extra orcs in the camp that you missed.
Damn, Croc, with that quick math, where'd you go to school?
Would you work out this one?
I count a lot in like trees and flowers and roots
just
and stuff.
Very impressed. That's very
Blades
good.
of grass.
Not to be patronizing.
Fine, fine, you win. But if we'll go, I don't think we sneak out. We just go. We strike hard,
Well-
strike fast, and get out.
Well, we can sneak and then strike hard and fast.
Oh, am I making someone invisible or not? Because I'm sleepy.
Um,
I don't think.
Yeah,
it's
let's do that.
necessary. But that could be healing if we need it.
Oh, does the invisibility draw from the healing?
No.
See,
How
What do you
Just
mean? It's all
dumb.
magic.
magic comes from different sources.
You people are weird. Sure.
As
go,
I
do
as
it.
I grip my necromancy staff, look you in the eyes and say, "I don't know what you mean."
While like hanging out of Al's pocket, I just reach my hand out to the knight and do like a grabby motion. Come here.
Oh, let's wait until we're there.
Oh,
who
it's like a 5-10 minute walk that way. And he points in a direction.
That's 5-10 minutes. I could be longer in there. Well, undercover.
Okay,
who,
you're right.
who would be going with the knight? Because I could go with, but I can make myself something small and harmless.
Well, if you're going with, I don't feel good about leaving Dren out of whatever the fuck he is here alone. So
You
Ren
can,
is still catatonic and has heard none of this conversation, by the way.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we should do anything until Vren's back.
Oh, agreed.
I think we should get off the orc tracks here, so we move the cart like, 200 feet further into the woods.
Agreed again.
And then I'll go with these guys. I've got some magic that I can use. Might be able to get us out of a jam.
Okay,
I'll
so
play backup.
me, you, and the knight, and then Luna, Al, and Vren stay with the cart.
I thought John just said he was going with you one night.
That's what I said.
What? Okay.
Me,
Listen.
John, and the knight go to the camp.
Okay. Cool.
You,
Cool.
Luna, stay with Vren.
In the middle of this conversation, you guys hear this weird scratching, clawing sound.
I'm
Not
Go
cool.
on the
aware.
ground for the guard rake.
It is fully all the way up a tree, like all the way. And there's like a hole in this tree that you assume like a small animal may have crawled into, because it is trying to get a claw in there. It's way too big, but it's trying to get a claw in there really badly, and it's just like snapping and like clawing and like scraping wood.
Croc's gonna say, heal, come here.
In common.
Yeah, I mean, it's all.
Yeah.
John will
It-
translate what Croc says in Draconic.
Okay. This could go either way. So this could be animal handling with help because John is helping, or it could be disadvantage because like you're trying to secondhand information something. So one of the two of you give me animal handling.
Oh, how do you want to do this?
Good question.
You want to each roll? And then the lower wins or the higher wins?
Yeah, you know what? That's perfect. One each of you roll, and then we'll take that as the way it works with advantage. So the higher wins.
Okay.
A strong showing from John with a 17.
Oh, you're a sport announcer.
And a 7 from Croc. Okay, so Croc, it doesn't react to you in common. Apparently, like it's just not paying attention to you because
Yeah.
you're so far away from it. But then John barks those words like that you're doing in Draconic. At least you assume, because as soon as John says those words, like it stops, freezes up, and like cranes its head, almost in a way a bird would, and then like in the weirdest thing you ever see, scrabbles up the tree another 5 feet and then starts scrabbling down. And it doesn't look like it's going to fall. It's going, like, is it vertically or horizontally? Either way, it's flat to the tree and, like, running down it, with no sign of slipping. And it's pretty loud, but it makes it all the way down and then comes to sit in front of... Are you two together, John and Croc, or are you apart from each other?
Probably like 5-6 feet apart.
Okay, it comes and sits in front of John. John gave the command, so it's looking at John. It's also a little confused, because it came to the person that gave the command, but it keeps kind of like turning and looking at Croc, like, oh, I kind of expected this was you. It's looking a little confused.
John is puppeting that confused look, looking at Croc and then looking at this Drake that's in front of him, and he has no idea what to do with it.
So there are now two creatures looking at you, confused, Croc.
John's gonna point.
Oh, go ahead.
I was like, John's just gonna point at you.
At Croc?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Croc will point at the ground in front of them.
It puts 2 and 2 together and goes and sits in front of Croc.
Okay. Croc will feed it a good berry, give it a scratch under the chin.
It happily noms the good berry. Like it gums it for a while because you're feeding this thing that likes to eat meat a lot of like berries. That's one of the reasons why it was like up the tree looking for something with meat. But it chews on the good berry. It takes this as a treat.
We have meat as provisions in the wagon, right?
Do we?
I don't remember if it was grain or if it was grain and wine. I didn't take stock of what was there.
Grain.
I don't think I listed any meat in the wagon provisions.
No, salt, red wine, wheat, flour, ginger, macadamia nuts.
Yep.
Yeah. So there is food, but none of it's meat.
Yes. Nothing a healthy growing dragon boy needs.
Drake gonna like oatmeal.
I mean, you'd have to try and feed it some and see what its reaction is.
Oh, so with that, what are we going to be doing with the guard drake while we're having this whole plan?
We could
have him
take
guard
him
the
in
bed?
and see if he can handle it.
I mean, I don't feel comfortable taking it into battle just yet on account of how little time we've had to train it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the better option is it does what it's bred to do, which is guard and look after the wagon.
For fuck's sake. So I'm gonna be babysitting both dragons, and I look at Vren, then at double guard Drake.
No, the guard drake's going to be babysitting you.
Yeah, I don't find that very likely.
That's my job.
That's true. Luna was staying behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ooh, all 3 dragons. No, I don't know if she's a dragon.
So, are we doing this?
Yeah, so what do you guys do?
We're waiting
At the
for
moment,
Vren.
we're waiting for Vren to wake up.
Yeah.
I don't have
Okay.
any means with which to message him.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
it's
do.
another... Oh, okay. Do you want to message a friend?
I mean, is that communicated? Like, to people, like, are we just, like, staring at Vren?
Currently we are, but...
I think Vren's just having a sleep and hiding it.
Okay, then, yeah, I'll point at him and use message and be like, so what you looking at?
Oh. Oh, I heard that. Oh, that's very weird. Okay, I've never thought to use the message spell like that. Good thinking. I'm a while away. There's still a lot of tracks. My owl isn't particularly good at finding tracks. He keeps having to go down to the ground to pick up the trail again. But it's been a while. I'm a fair distance away and I still haven't found them. I'm following the tracks. This may go all the way to the tree line. They might be trying to track down their missing warg riders.
He's saying
I
this
don't
out
know
loud,
what that
right?
means.
Ren is saying this very much out loud.
Oh, okay.
Well, if that's what 17 orcs that aren't
They're a
in
long
camp
ways
right
away.
now.
Do you want
I
to tell
think
Vren to
Croc's
forget
right.
about it?
And it means that they're probably half a day away.
Yeah.
Or already on their way back.
Well, if they're already on their way back, they're still at least half a day away.
Well, I think Bren has only found tracks heading away. I don't think Bren or his owl have seen tracks coming back.
Correct, which means they're even farther away than his owl has gone flying for 10 minutes in a single direction.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be pretty safe.
Yeah, it could be the
Well,
best
quote
chance we
unquote.
have. I mean, whether or not it's a good idea is, a whole other thing, but it could be the best chance we have if we want to do this.
You want to send another message, Luna, and ask Brendan what he thinks
Vren, what do
with
you
our whole
think?
plan here?
What do I think about what?
I don't know, whatever they were talking about.
Oh, darling, I can only hear you. I haven't heard any of the conversation you have been having while I've been away, except for you messaging me. So I have no idea what you've all been discussing.
Is he saying that out loud still?
Yeah.
Well, do you want to ask him if he can snap back and we can talk to him? Because I don't think we're going to particularly need a pinpoint location on these orcs. We just know
Yeah,
that they're
they're
not
far
coming back
enough
for a while.
away.
I think they want you to come back, Vren.
Alrighty. And Vren, starts looking around, rubs his eyes a bit. Yes, so I didn't find them. What did you guys find?
We found the camp and about 4 orcs. 20-ish, 30 tents. So we were thinking about, and there was somebody in the camp speaking Draconic, but they were cursing, and it sounded like they were getting punched by an orc. So I think they have a captive.
Oh.
The orcish tents and their armor, everything that I saw had the symbol of Tiamat on it. So we can reasonably assume that this person will be against Tiamat of some capacity.
Yes, we can assume that.
I know you were thinking about going in to get them out. Because there's 4 or maybe more, but certainly not a whole warband in the camp right now.
Well, I will be as useful as I can be. What would you like me to do?
Well, we were wondering if you thought it was a good idea or bad, or, just get your input before we drag you into something.
I will support you fellows as to the best of my ability. I'm obviously out of spell slots right now. I can't cast anything other than my cantrips. I've
Would
given away
John-
my best magic item to Luna, and I'm more than capable of attacking things at range, but I'm
How far?
100 feet-ish.
Okay. Do you know that communication spell, the one that Luna was using?
No, I'm sorry, I don't know message.
Okay. Well, if you stick with Luna, then we could have some communication from the outside.
How far away can you do the communication thing?
Like 120 feet-ish.
So you'd have to stay close, but out of sight.
I have a mechanics/meta question.
Mm-hmm.
John has meta magic adept, so he's at least familiar with some of the fun little hinky stuff that sorcerers do. Would he know how they work mechanically, like with sorcery points and gaining spell slots and stuff?
With the limited amount of sorcery points he has, can he gain a spell slot, or is that?
No, I don't believe that that's part of the feat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
then
that's
no. He's not a full sorcerer, so he doesn't know about the converting sorcery points
Okay.
back and forth feature.
So, what are we doing?
Well, I think that the plan is me and Croc are going to go and infiltrate. Were you planning on coming with, John?
Yeah, I think the more the merrier. And
Okay.
having someone with some magic wouldn't hurt anything in there.
Are we
Really?
just driving
on.
the cart into their camp, or are we splitting the party? Some guarding the cart, some going to the camp.
I think we're going to take the cart as close as we can, as long as it's out of distance, sight from their camp. And then having you, Luna, and Al on the sidelines, just in case anything goes wrong. Potentially have the Drake guarding the cart from animals and
From my adventuring experience, you never go in half-cocked and leave people behind. Everyone goes in at once, full strength, to the best of abilities, or if part of you gets overrun, you could all die.
See, I said that. I said we just go in and go fast and hit hard, but no. Let's stealth in.
Oh,
I
yeah,
genuinely hate to say this, but I agree with Al.
That's
That's a horrifying prospect, but I think we should take that under advisement.
I think the main plan is we're not planning on sticking around in there necessarily. It's just we get in, do enough damage that they don't know what's going on, and then we hit them.
They are orcs. Orcs generally don't know what is going on, but if there's a ruckus, they charge at it axe drawn.
They can still be shaken and picked off.
Look, I don't know how any of you work and what your abilities are, so I can't advise in that respect. All I'm saying is I don't want anyone sidelined or sitting out of things.
Well, if you are confident in your capacity to come into this camp with us, then I say we all go in.
Oh, yeah, I'm absolutely for that. Let's just try to go quiet and see if we can catch them by surprise.
So
I'd
here's
rather
my
fight an orc that's sleeping than an orc that's standing over me with an axe.
Fuck yeah.
So slight change of the plan then, and tell me what you think of this. If Luna makes Vren and Al, no, she has to make the Knight and John invisible. Never mind.
I might be able to get in unseen. I'm naturally talented at such.
Croc remembers the Knight standing in some bushes and just falling flat on his face in front of some guards, and then says, "So if Luna makes the Knight and John invisible, and they sneak into the camp, and Al, Luna, and Vren hide in the cart, and I ride the cart in, looking like I do, it might buy me enough time to be, sort of a distraction. I can speak Orcish, and then we just kind of spring a trap on them and just fuck them up. Me and Al just jumping off the cart, smashing things. The Knight and John, attacking from stealth. Vren casting magic and Luna supporting, and we just fucking.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
If I make more than one person invisible, I'm gonna be significantly less spellful.
Well, then we'll just do one of us.
Yeah.
We'll just do the Knight. I don't need to be invisible. I just didn't want the Knight in there
The
alone.
Knight's
But if
pretty
we're all
good
going,
at stealthing around.
I'll be okay.
I don't know that for sure. We've seen your prowess go both ways.
No, you're having a moment here where you can tell some of the party don't have faith in you, but some of the party really do.
Yep. It's a real mixed bag.
Yeah. You've got very mixed feelings about this.
But if the Knight is insistent and wants to prove himself, Croc will be like, okay.
No, I'm gonna fucking. This'll be the fucking. I'm gonna roll on that one. Watch me.
This is
Um,
how he died.
Okay, so
So
here's the
yeah,
thing. I'm not going to ask you to make a stealth roll until you're really deep in there, because I've noticed in D&D games especially, if you tell people to roll stealth up front, they'll be like, oh, I got a 25, I just get in there. Oh, I got a 1, I stay well back. So you're going to have to narrate what you're doing, and at the point that something might notice you, then you will roll stealth.
That's a clincher.
it's a more like
It's up to
mechanically
you,
sensible
Knight.
option.
I agree.
I can make you
What was that?
invisible if you want.
Yeah, what do you think, Knight?
I think John would benefit more.
Okay.
I just
Let's
heard
go.
I just heard what God said about the new stealth rolls. I'm not fucking going in there.
Who's God?
No, I'll go.
Well,
Let's
you'll
go.
be
Let's go.
fine invisibly, I'm sure.
Alright,
done.
so
I
we
highly doubt that.
drive the cart up first, or are we sending the scouts to run ahead?
I think we give the scouts time to get ahead.
Okay. Can I pet the guard drake?
Why?
Okay.
I'm feeling anxious.
It seems to understand Draconic very well, so if you can speak it, you can probably talk right to it.
Vren turns to the guard drake and asks it to like jump up onto the cart, which it looks a bit like it looks at Croc for approval.
Croc just gives a nod.
And it scrambles up onto the cart. It's very good at climbing, so it's straight up onto the cart. At which point, like Vren pulls this giant creature onto his lap and like pets all the way down it. Which the guard drake's eyes like go like slitted very quickly, and it just kind of sinks into it and just settles there. And it seems to calm Vren down a lot.
Combination anxiety dog and weighted blanket. We could all
If-
use one of those.
Yeah.
Unless
Death machine.
unless somebody has a real desire to keep it, Croc is going to dump the 113-pound drum of wheat. And probably the 44-pound keg of flour as well, because I don't see us baking anytime soon.
Well, the flour would be useful to make bread. It would
I could
last for a
actually
while.
use the flour. Useful
We
for.
would need yeast.
Well, if I tie it into small sacks and we're fighting an enemy that can
Oh.
use magic to go invisible, we can easily discover its location.
Okay, I
Isn't
will
a bad idea.
keep the flour keg, but I'm going to
Got a mess
dump
kit.
the wheat, I think.
Now, question mechanically, because I don't remember what the description of the mess kit is. Is it just like things that you need to eat food, or is it things you need to prepare food?
Eat food.
To eat, okay.
It should say in the thing.
You
It's
would
like
Yeah.
a tin and a cup, and
you would need
yeah.
chef's tools for preparing food.
Yeah, you
Gotcha.
get it's a tin box that has a cup and simple cutlery in it.
It's got a cooking pan, a plate, a shower bowl.
Yeah.
Shiv.
No, that's just in yours.
It's got simple cutlery, so you could use that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could use the butter knife, I suppose.
If
Yeah.
I'm throwing like a fork, can I use sharpshooter for that?
Oh my god.
Yeah, but you don't have proficiency in it, so it'd be even
Well, we
harder
all-
to hit. But yes.
But you said we
That's
all
fine.
have proficiency in improvised weapons. It's an
That's true.
improvised
You
art.
did.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, yeah, fair enough. If
Improvised fork.
you want to improvise fork someone at range, you can absolutely try and fork someone at range.
Yeah, let's not test that out in this incredibly delicate mission.
But he can jump quick and prove himself to the entire party.
So, like Croc, you move around the back of the cart and just dump the wheat barrel off, or
Well, I'm gonna like take it like into the tree line and kind of cover it with some leaves and shit.
okay, you just hide a barrel of wheat in a forest.
Yeah, I hope it confuses the next adventurer or orc that finds it.
It's
Okay,
gonna be us, you know. We're gonna like
And in fact, I'm gonna scratch onto the lid with something sharp. Magic wheat don't touch in Orcish.
okay. Make me a deception check that you will never see the result of.
Abso-fucking-lutely. That's my favorite kind of deception check.
What the fuck?
Good. Okay. I'm not going to tell you whether you have advantage or disadvantage, so you have no idea how well you did, but you do that.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the surprise item next campaign.
And I'm going to suggest that Al, Vren, the Guard Drake, and Luna get under the orc. Like I'm going to cover them with like some of the orc hides,
Right.
but leave like some of the other like barrels and stuff like sitting there, so it still looks like a supply cart sort of thing.
Right.
So, stealth? Question mark?
Sorry.
Does hiding under hides count as stealth or count as sitting there?
Cover?
Again, I will not ask anyone to roll a stealth check until it becomes relevant.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
I'm
don't
generally-
worry about that. You just tell me what you're doing.
I imagine it's only relevant when you're being inspected, right?
Sure.
And Croc's going to say, once the night, and we'll give John and the night 8-minute head start, and then we'll set off. We'll come rolling into camp, hopefully having given them enough time to get situated, have a look around. When somebody comes over to question me, I'll speak to them. I'll try to gauge how it's going. If I feel like it's not going well, I'm just going to jump off the cart and start kicking the shit out of him. And you guys will hear that, and then we all just,
Well,
kick the shit out of everyone.
Maybe
The
we
owl
should have a
plan.
word so that we know that you jumped off the car and started eating them.
Yes, something related to. I mean, we've been talking about wheat and flour, so
It
what
could
about
be
bread?
bread.
Yeast.
Oh, yeah.
This fucking recurring joke is not going to mean anything to anyone except the people that just said bread there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't think even Basker knows what's going on.
So, for
sure
everyone watching and Basker, on the last campaign that I ran for these fools, bread was the "we throw a fireball at it" word.
It was the code
So-
word.
I
Yeah,
don't
it was
even
the
know how
code
that came
word.
into, how that
Because
came
it
into
wasn't
that.
ever to come up in conversation. So at random, it'd be like, all right, fuck it, bread, and it would be roll initiative time.
And then we toasted some motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Courtesy of fucking Sleepy.
You guys are moving with cart toward the tree line after giving 8 minutes of head start to who?
John and the knight with invisibility cast on them.
John and the
Okay.
knight.
On John.
So,
Oh, sorry, on John. Invisibility cast on John.
Yeah.
so before we depart, John's gonna say he's gonna snap his fingers and he's gonna poof his owl into existence and he's gonna set it right down on the middle of the cart. I was like, okay, so we're going ahead. If this owl disappears, shit hit the fan early, and we need you to come as soon as possible. Okay?
You got it.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
I have
a
another
smart way
character
of using
question.
What was that,
Mhm.
Ren?
Can oh, my bad.
Ren said that's a smart way of using that.
Can we run faster than the cart? Just in case of emergency?
In case of emergency, absolutely.
Yeah,
In
it's
case of
probably just
emergency,
trotting.
absolutely. Because, yeah, I was going to say, the horse is plodding. Like, the cart's pretty heavy, so it hasn't really been galloping at any speed. But, like, the plodding, consistent movement of the horse has actually been reasonably fast because it's a horse and its plodding pace is pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So it's like slow for a car, but fast for a person.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a point to
There's-
John as well. So if you if you're coming with me, just and you're invisible, try and stay to my left, just so I know roughly where you are.
Sure. Yeah, I'll try that. I'm not super used to being stealthy, so we'll see how this goes.
All right, so Luna, are you casting invisibility on him now?
Whenever they want me to. I just barked the spell just in case.
Okay. Are you guys leaving now, then?
Yeah, I suppose.
So
I'm gonna make
everything
another point
makes
as well. If I put my two fingers up like this, and I just put my two fingers up like
That's
together. Not my two index and middle finger up. If I put my fingers up like this, just touch my shoulder so I know where you are and we can talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's get moving then.
Good luck.
Alrighty. Thanks.
You too.
And what does Luna casting invisibility look like when she uses her Fey magic?
John explodes into like fairy dust and like little fluttering butterflies go everywhere, and then he's just gone.
Okay, so to everyone else, you don't see John just like vanish. You see John like explode into glitter and butterflies.
Yep.
It's very in keeping with his aesthetic. I like it.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
literally just blew him up, not made him invisible.
Maybe.
So I assume, being that this is timed, the knight and John head off together, right?
Yeah. John's gonna say over his shoulder, let me watch from my owl next time. That looked kind of cool.
All right. So it's at this point, like they've head off. How are you guys tracking passage of time? Because 8 minutes was the stated amount, but like wristwatches don't exist here. Nobody can just pull out a phone and like look at the time. So how do you gauge how long you wait?
I think I'm gonna.
We count?
I mean, you could get Vren to watch when we get there.
You've already left.
Cool.
Yeah,
We have a
notice
wizard.
the timing of the question to the party right after the two people leave. Now let's
I'm
cover this.
as soon as they set off, I'm just going to produce flame in my hands,
Right.
and when I feel it getting towards the end of its life, I'm just going to disperse it and set off from the cart.
Produce
So
flame at last 8 minutes.
Produce flame lasts 10 minutes, so
Okay.
and like with magic, I could have always taken it as a thing you know how long you can feel it waning.
Yeah.
So when I
So-
start, when I'm like, okay, I've only got like a couple minutes left, I'm gonna disperse it and then get the cart moving.
So I'm trying to figure out, if you guys get there, how long it will be before the party arrives. I'm assuming if they're waiting 8 minutes, it's going to take you... Like, how quick are you getting to this camp?
As quick as reasonable.
Well, yeah, the
Yeah.
reason that I said we would set off 8 minutes after was so that you guys could stealth there. Kind of take your time a bit.
Well, I remember you parted ways, and that wasn't discussed beforehand, so
Oh,
I'm
yeah, good
asking
point.
them.
Yeah. No, I'm assuming we got closer, so it's not the full 10-minute walk that it was last time. But because John's been to the camp, he's gonna let the knight know when we're getting close. So we're gonna walk at like a quicker pace until we get to within like 2 minutes
Yeah,
or
yeah.
5 minutes of the camp, and then we're gonna slow to a stealthy pace.
Okay. So, reasonably quick pace first, not stealthing, and then stealthing once you get within 5 minutes of it.
Yeah. Unless the knight thinks
So,
differently. John is not a sneaky boy.
Knight's not visible.
No,
Knight, are
John
you...
is invisible.
Yeah, John is invisible. So Knight, you're not stealthing for the first 5 minutes, right?
No, not until we can get like close.
Make me a D100 luck check, so percentile dice.
Oh boy.
1.
Low is bad, high is good.
High is good.
76. Okay. Nothing sees you in that 5 minutes. I set like the DC for that in my head at like the 75 and above is good. You just made it. You just made it. So you get there without anything seeing you, and then like start slowing your pace. I assume you put your two fingers up, so like you feel John's hand on your shoulder, and you guys start stealthing in like together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny point. John is going to be using Mage. Well, Mage Hand counts as a spell, but it's not an attack. Would that break invisibility? Casts a spell. Yeah, so he's not going to do that.
Yep. If
Yeah.
you cast Mage Hand, you would immediately become invisible. Become visible.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
Okay.
Do you know to not do that?
I mean, I know a lot about magic.
True.
I was going to say invisibility is in his spell list. He should know how it works.
Okay.
So this book, this cookbook.
I'm gonna come out of the pocket, stretch and yawn, and then I'm gonna go sit next to the owl.
Okay.
John's owl.
So you sit next to this creature that is like considerably bigger than you, an owl, isn't it?
Probably. I'm just keeping my eye on him.
It's just standing there doing owl things.
Fucker owl.
No, Owl's just chilling. Like, usually, like, he's banished to a pocket dimension unless he's actively, like, out here scouting and doing dangerous things. So, like, he finally gets a moment in the material world to just relax. So, like, his feathers are hanging low and he's, like, looking kind of drowsy. His eyes are half closed and he's just roosting. Just having a good time. Not
Roosting.
needing to be useful.
That's the word I was looking for. He is roosting.
I'm gonna.
No,
go ahead.
So it's at this point I think I'm going to ask the knight to make a stealth check and John to make a stealth check with advantage.
Okay.
Ready? Double net one.
What
Okay.
the fuck?
18 or 18. Okay.
Oh.
And
Jesus.
26.
Look at you.
See, I'm good at it, I promise.
You are.
Both are invisible.
So let's make a.
I knew my faith was well rested.
Cool. All right. So you guys get into the camp and notice, through your passive perception and wonderful stealth, there are guard orcs walking vaguely around the perimeter of the camp, but you full on Metal Gear Solid like take stock of like where they're walking and whatnot and walk between them and get into the camp. So you are aware that there are at least a few orcs not in the tents that are just perimeter of the camp walking around looking for intruders. But you are now in the camp.
Are
So
these
we-
additional orcs that I did not see as my owl before?
Oh yes.
Okay. So we're up to like 6 or 7 orcs.
So can you guys currently see the battle map?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is where you are. I'm going to say you guys are coming in from the bottom right down here. So you can.
Right down there.
This is as to let you take stock of the camp. Don't worry about your tokens until something happens. Just narrate to me what's going on. But
Okay.
that's your entry point.
Okay. So John will try to recall where the tent was, where the dragon person or the draconic speaker was being interrogated.
Actually, really close to you. It's the biggest first tent near you.
Oh, wonderful. So John is going to tap the knight's shoulder and say, right here, he's whispering, obviously, right here in front of us, and he's going to point invisibly. The biggest tent that's closest is where I heard the screams. Do we hear them currently?
You don't hear yelling or thudding right now. It seems to be all a bit quiet. The biggest thing you can hear is the crackling of the bonfire in the middle of the camp, where like a couple of logs have been cut down. In fact, you see, I'm not putting them on the battle map yet. I want to try and keep this as theatre as the mind as possible, but you see a couple of orcs standing by the logs, just warming their hands on the fire, trying to keep warm. It's still cold in this climate. Like that. It's still like 0-ish. You guys are cold. So the sound of that crackling fire is very inviting. Can we please not draw little stick figures on the battle map? I just said I wasn't going to place them. I do not want little stick figures representing my orcs.
Stick orcs. I'll put my 2 fingers up and wait for John to. Well, I mean, he's already grabbed my shoulder, but
He has.
I'm gonna say, can you poke your head into those 2 tents and just see if there's any occupants?
Oh, yeah, I'm invisible. What the fuck? Yeah, I'm going to go out and take a look at that.
Yeah, move up to like this rock here.
Wasn't Croc supposed to come with us as well, as a tiny animal?
No, he's on the cart pretending to be an orc.
That was
Which
plan
he kind of
one.
is.
Yeah, that was
This
plan
is plan
one.
two.
This is exactly.
I got lost
in
that's
my
the
stuff.
time. We don't
I
do
got lost in
planning
my
here.
stuff. Alright, so yeah.
You guys
John's
do a
going
lot
to-
of planning. You don't do a lot of following those plans very well.
Yeah, John's just gonna go nice and slow. He's gonna take that path.
Okay.
In
You
tent
look
one
in
or-
those tents. There are things in those tents. There are no orcs. So there's like piles of fur. There's like eating bowls. There's a couple of clay pots. That like there's things. The tents look lived in. Right now, the bedrolls are empty. There are no orcs.
Okay. So I'm gonna head back to the knight, let him know that there's nothing there, and then peek my head into the flap of this tent.
So that's actually the rear of the tent. There is no flap back there. That is like a solid end to the tent. The flap is round the other side.
Can I look underneath it, like if I get on my hands and knees on the ground and peer underneath the fabric of the tent?
The fabric of the tent is actually like pinned down to stop water getting in because it's a very wet climate right now. So things are fastened together. There is certainly no gap for you to be able to see through.
All right, I'll make my way out to the front. I'll peek in this tent as I go through.
I'm gonna
Okay.
move up as well. I'm gonna move into
There-
there.
There is an orc in that tent. They appear to be sitting there with their axe on their lap. And they're holding the haft of the axe and like jiggling the actual like blade, and it's loose, and they are like winding twine or some kind of like leather strip or something around it, and like pulling it as taut as they can, and then wiggling again, and then rewinding. They're just doing axe maintenance.
Okay, all right. And then I'm gonna come up here and peer into the big tent.
Okay. This is the biggest tent. There is no light in here, however. But what you can see at the end of the tent, on its knees in manacles, is the weirdest dragonborn you've ever seen. Ever. This dragonborn is white, so you'd assume white dragonborn, but it's been beaten up and it's bleeding golden blood. Its horns are solid gold, and it's shirtless, covered in scars, and its scars look like they are gold. It looks like one of those, I think it's a kind of repair method used in Japan, where like if a clay pot is broken, they repair it with like gold. That's what he looks like. He looks like he's been put back together with gold. And right now, you can make me a religion check if you would like to know a bit more.
Oh, sure, we're good at that. Oh shit, we
You
are good at
damn
that.
are.
Wait.
This is an Aasimar Dragonborn.
Huh.
The fuck?
That is ungodly rare. This is a Dragonborn descended of some kind of divine entity. Now, Aasimar, you've seen them in human varieties. You've never seen a Dragonborn Aasimar before, but this is one. And you immediately look at him and go, I know what that is. His eyes are pure black, but his like irises are solid like metallic gold. And he
Damn.
is just, I mean, in a way he's beautiful, but in another way he's a bit broken right now. He's just about conscious, but he's been beaten down. However, to get into the tent, you have to move the flap. When you move the flap, his head snaps up and just waits, and he's waiting for like the orc to step in. Do you step into the tent, or are you just looking?
I do not step in. I'm going to, in the most hushed tone that I can, in Draconic, say friend.
He cocks his head a bit and just like narrows an eye, waiting. Like he's tense and waiting. He doesn't know what's going on. He thought he heard something, but like you're an entire tent away and whispering.
Yeah. I will.
Brain damage.
He's taking a lot of blows to the face. All right. I'm not going to enter into the tent. I'm going to tell the knight. Actually, I'm going to walk past the knight because I don't know that he moved. I'm going to head back to the rock.
What I was going to say, we're supposed to be in Theatre of the Night here. The Mind here. Did the knight move?
Yeah, he moved into Theatre of the Night. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
he's
John's
in the
going to be
tent.
heading back to the rock.
He's in one of the empty tents.
Yeah.
Perfect. John, you head back to the rock. You don't find the knight.
Oh, okay. So John will come back and he'll go up past the backside of the tents.
Oh
Come
my
back to where
god.
because he's looking at this rock, trying to find the knight.
Knight's got his 2 fingers up, like his arms getting a bit tired. It's been a minute
Don't
or
say
2.
You can't even see him.
All right. I didn't see the knight. I'm gonna head into the tent.
Okay.
I'm gonna
You
open
Oh
the
my
tent.
god!
In Draconic, I'm going to say, I'm a friend. I've got people here. We don't like the orcs. It's great.
A friend. And it responds.
Yes. I'm John. Who are you?
It takes a big deep breath, filling its lungs in its chest, and sighs. Your accent is more painful than the beating I was receiving. You say, friend.
I've never had anyone insult my Draconic before. Okay. He's gonna switch. How does common sound?
And he speaks in exactly the same kind of way in common. Less painful. I am Devarian.
Nice to meet you, Tavarian. There's an orc basically right outside the tent, so we're gonna have to keep it down. Are you in any kind of position to move or fight?
My hands are manacled, as are my legs.
Aside from that, I mean, if I were able to get you free, would you be able to fight or protect yourself?
I would die fighting.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Give me a minute. I'll see if I can find a key. And he's gonna leave and just start looking around for the night. Like he's peeking into tents. He's peeking into everything that's on the bottom half of this map here.
Make me an investigation check.
18.
Oof.
Cool.
The knight rolled 30 on stealth.
Yeah, they rolled 26 on stealth, so
No, I'm gonna put one of my daggers on the ground, just there.
Nice.
okay, so here's the thing. With an 18, I'm going to say you do eventually find him, but it takes you a minute. And you have very limited time in the head start that everyone gave you.
Absolutely.
So you are very low on time now.
Knight's rubbing his shoulder.
When I finally find the knight, why the fuck did you move? There's an orc in the.
Saw me move.
No, you were behind me. I guess I gotta give you credit. You're pretty fucking sneaky. There's an orc in the tent right in front of us, and right next to us where the captive is, it's a dragonborn. He looks like he's in pretty rough shape. His hands and feet are bound.
Well, I'll go around back and see if I can't cut a hole in the fabric and get in that way.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna snoop out to the back.
Okay. You have a 26 stealth, so as you're about to come round the back of the tent, you notice an orc just walking, like, past, down, as if going to the south. So there is an orc now moving in this direction. If you continue to the back of the tent, he will see you. What do you do?
Where was the orc? Sorry, that's it.
Okay, the orc is moving in this direction. You see the orc as you're coming round the side of the tent here. So before you make it, like at the corner of the tent, you see this orc. If you come around the corner, he will almost guaranteed see you.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to just hang back for a second then.
Okay. It moves to about here between these two rocks, places its axe head down onto the ground and like leans on it, and appears to be just gazing around, keeping watch.
Well, I'll have to make do with here then, and I'll cut a hole into this side of the tent, which is a lot more obvious.
Yeah.
If you look at it from that side, yeah.
Make me a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand. No.
Oh boy.
Shh. It's real loud. Like cutting it, it tears loudly, and the orc nearby goes, "Hmm?" and starts heading over in your direction.
No.
Shit. Just gonna take a step back, and I'm gonna ready an action to launch a dagger at him.
Okay. I said it took a minute, so. Alright, John, you see this happening. I am gonna put AN orc on the field.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm invisible.
Yep.
I'm going to use Metamagic Adept to subtle spell, breaking my invisibility. But I'm casting Charm
Oh my
Person
god.
on the orc.
Calm person
Oh
on
my
the orc.
God.
Okay.
Oh,
With no
Oh
verbal or
my
semantic
God.
components. So nobody hears me speak. There's nothing audible about it. It's just
Okay.
working or not working.
Imagine just
Mm.
materializing in front of
We're
someone and being
not
like, I'm your friend.
fighting, so it shouldn't be an advantage.
So
Do I-
Magic Man appears. What was that, Luna?
Would I feel my spell end, or am I still concentrating it and thinking that it's still up?
I think the way magic works, when a spell is broken, you know it's broken. Like you're maintaining magic, like you're like filling a glass, you would know when like pushing your magic in that direction is no longer maintaining a thing. Like you'd feel it end.
Okay.
Also, John said they were going to do something to give you guys a heads up, but that hasn't happened
Shit
yet.
hasn't hit the fan yet.
Okay.
Yeah, if shit hits the fan, I'll tell them.
So,
but that's a full action, so we're trying to save the night right now.
So you charm him. He fails his save.
Okay.
So it is now under the charmed condition and regards you as a friendly acquaintance. Not a friend, but someone it knows and is friendly with. The way I'm going to rationalize this is this orc just assumes you're part of its tribe, regardless of the fact that you are not an orc and are a human mage that it's never seen before.
Yeah.
So it just starts talking to you in Orcish.
Both. Right. Right. Okay. I want to say in common, hey, remember we said we were all getting drunk last night? You were supposed to teach me Orcish? It's not happened yet. I'm working on it.
Oh, God.
It frowns, just kind of walks towards you, still talking in Orcish. Like, there's nothing aggressive about its body language, but he's just giving you, like, conversational tone Orcish that you don't understand. You're responding in common.
Yeah,
I go in the tent.
Okay, so the problem with this is conversational tone Orcish and responding in common causes the orc in that tent up here to pop his head out and in Orcish give the like, what the fuck is going on, sees you and just is like, So,
Snap my fingers, the owl goes away.
that's where we'll roll initiative.
I need.
It's okay, we
need
can
to-
save this. Oh, fuck.
We can
Wait,
save
so-
this.
I don't know how this works, but we need tokens to be able to roll, so we're off the map technically.
Yeah, if everyone wants to place themselves in the bottom right where Al is to roll initiative for, like, you guys getting here, I'm gonna say, Croc's the one leading it, and just for luck's sake, roll me a 1d10. That's how many rounds you are out.
I do
So
have a
the
question.
lower, the better. Yes?
There was a moment where John was looking for night, and you said it took a while. So how much time was that?
I said that was a minute.
Okay.
So we're 6 hard minutes have passed. And I think that's where the luck is coming in that he's saying.
Yeah.
Croc
So
rolls.
you want me to roll a 1d10?
Yes.
Oh
And,
boy.
and don't roll a perfect. You're only a round out.
Oh boy.
That
That's
is
as
the
good as it could
Best
go.
you could have rolled.
Oh, Rise of Rohan on the way. It's
Well,
fine.
you told me to roll a 1d10 and aim low, so I did.
You did indeed.
Hold the line!
And I am
John's
super
really good at
aware
holding
because
the
the
line.
spell ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the spell ends, I think maybe like 6 full seconds, maybe 12 seconds go by, and then the owl goes away, and you're like, oh.
You know,
Yeah.
more and more we do this shit. I'm beginning to think that Al's way of just fucking going in and fighting everything is the only way.
Telling you, we're
It always goes
telling-
wrong.
Just go! Just fucking go!
My plan was to have like the Metal Gear Solid, like a dead body room that you always end up with, and fucking, well.
It's gonna be a dead John room soon if we don't get there.
Yeah, that's what I get for trying to stick up for the last time I tried to help a fucking teammate, I went unconscious by trying to drag Croc out of the arms of a raging
Hey, that
water
was your
elemental.
poor decision.
Oh yeah, and this is also my poor decision. I'm just saying, all these poor decisions are adding up to I was trying to help a friend.
John's just a good guy.
Anyway, okay,
Yeah.
so that's the situation we're in right now. Vren and Luna are way high in the initiative, but you guys are on the car hiding right now, I think was the plan, and the owl has disappeared. Does this make Luna do anything different?
Probably when this, like, I felt this spell initially drop, I kind of, like, gave Ren a look and, like, but I didn't say anything, and then I was just waiting, and then the owl disappears, and I'm like, getting ready. I don't know. Are we, like, under something still?
I believe so. I think you're
That-
under.
Yeah, that was the plan. So there's Vren, you, Owl, and the guard Drake, all sandwiched into a very small space with, like, pelts over the top of you.
Okay, I'm gonna crawl up towards wherever Owl's face is and be like, it's not good, it's not good.
I'll start getting out of whatever we're hiding under, but it's not my turn, so.
Okay. So are you holding any actions, casting any, like, prep spells, Luna, or is that it for now?
No, I'm assuming we're really far away, and I don't really have anything I can do with that.
Okay. So we will move on to our first orc buddy's turn. This is the one that isn't charmed and is very hostile. So immediately, John, you have an orc charge 30 feet down.
Mr. Blaze,
Yes.
can I A up?
Ah.
Yeah, sure. He doesn't know you're there, so he just
Nice.
23? Question mark with advantage? I don't know.
Yeah, if he doesn't know you're there.
You know what?
Mhm.
Let's do a stealth opposed with perception
Passive?
roll, and we'll see.
Oof.
He rolled a 17,
No.
so he sees that you're there. So that is an 8. So he sees the flap on the tent move as you try and lash out at him while he's passing, and he turns a shoulder, like darts aside, and just goes for John. But in you lashing out at him, he no longer thinks this is just like one human he gets to murder. This is an incursion. So he runs up to John, yelling at the top of his lungs. in Orcish, which I don't think any of you speak. So loud, in fact, that Croc, you hear this because you're only a round out.
Yep.
And they do speak Orcish, so what are they saying?
This is a very loud. You know what? Let's make an intelligence check for this guy first. Okay, cool. He remembers to yell for Tiamat and not for Gramash, so he yells at the top of his lungs for Tiamat and charges in to murder John.
Cool.
And that is going to be a great axe swing. Does an 11 hit you, John?
It does not. No, Mage Armor puts me at a 14.
Perfect. So he brings this axe crashing down towards your chest and clang, like connects with this like weird arcane thing that he wasn't expecting there, and is like confused, incredibly confused. He is a regular ass orc, so he gets one attack, and that is him done. This guy moves here, grabs the other orc's shoulder, and starts yelling at him in Orcish. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, this is not the way. Like, he just starts having an aggressive conversation with this other orc. Because he has not noticed the knight yet. And yeah, that's all he does. He is still charmed, John.
All right. Well, he attacked me. I'm gonna attack him. Let me see. I don't have. Oh, I got magic missile him. The guy that attacked me.
Okay.
Your fucking face.
Are you gonna roll all three, or are you just taking the two and
I'll roll all three.
Smart man.
Oh.
It's a solid
8
8.
total instead of 6.
Yeah, 8 total.
It's all right.
Okay, and can we see these orcs' health bars? Are they set up so you can see?
Yes.
Perfect. All right, so you like pelt him with missiles. They mostly impact into him and send him staggering back, but he's a big guy. He takes it and he looks very angry.
And I'm gonna like throw my arms up, like, what the fuck? Like, what? And I'm gonna look at the one that I have charmed, like, get your boy.
Yeah. He's
your
giving you
man.
the body language of what the fuck, similarly. Like, he's on your side on this one. Like, why is this guy charging over and just trying to bury an axe in your chest?
Yeah.
Standard
Al,
orc
you are
behavior.
you are also on the cart.
Yeah, but I would like to jump off and start combat pace running there, and right before I jump off, I'll go all this fucking planning, and here we are.
So, Krog, Al abandons the cart and just starts running towards the battle map. I said you're a round out, so after your 30 feet of movement, you appear on the battle map here. So you're there. You're that close.
Is that Al's actual HP?
Yep.
Great.
Well, I have 8 temp HP, so it's not actual HP, but yeah, sure.
It's
well,
not
I said I
actually
wasn't
very
ready for
high,
a
is
fight.
what it ain't.
Listen, I said before you decided to go into the camp, I'm not ready for a fight. And I look at so it's very obvious that there's a fight here, right?
Sort of. There's one guy that had axe in hand that is like looking like he's singed in a couple of places, but John and another orc are kind of yelling at this one orc who is looking confused but also angry.
Yeah, so I'm also confused and angry, and I'll just whistle to them and be like, "Hey, leave my books guy alone!"
All right. So this, like, the orc that was cool with John is super not cool with you, and like hefts axe the moment he sees you, Al.
I have a bonus action, right?
Yeah,
It's technically my turn.
You have an action and bonus action. I just said that was your movement.
Cool. So as a bonus action, I will have just resistance to everything for a minute because I'm not okay.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And I'll square up and ready for a fight. I'll hold. I can hold an attack action if something comes into range. Right?
You can either dash to get in range yourself, or you can hold an attack, or you can take the dodge action.
That's an idea. Yeah. I'll dash and go there. I'm running.
Okay.
Here.
Perfect. All right.
And that's it.
Righto. The knight. It is your turn.
Okay, I'm gonna untent. I'm gonna throw a dagger at that man.
As you do this, there is a dragonborn staring at you through the gash you left in the tent, giving you like the "what the fuck is going on" look. He's not saying anything. He's just staring like, "What the fuck?"
I give him another look that says, "Yeah, I know, right? Why did the wizard become visible?"
That's a lot to translate with just your eyes.
Yeah.
But you do know thieves can, so like maybe.
And then I'm gonna shoot a dagger. Oh my god!
Stunning.
Okay. So you've not had this problem often, but like you're wearing. Well, are you wearing gloves tonight?
Yeah. It's cold.
Yeah, you're wearing gloves because it's cold. You didn't realize this, but you got your gloves wet, so you whip the dagger out, throw your hand forwards, and when you throw your hand forwards, there's no dagger in it.
That's great. I'm gonna rip the gloves off then, because fuck gloves. I'm gonna throw another one.
Oh,
fuck gloves.
The gloves will 100% the
problem.
So was this actually a short bow shot? You said throw another one. Was that
dagger? Sorry. Let me dagger. I'll just we'll just roll a d4 and replace the 2d4, I guess, and replace the d6s.
So that's actually more damage.
Mm.
Actually, no, it's exactly the same. Nothing
cool.
changed.
Is it exactly the same?
Yeah, so he rolled a 3 on the first d6 and the 2 on the second one, and he rolled a 3 on the first d4 and the 2 on the second one.
Then that is exactly the same damage. Okay.
That's fucking amazing.
Well, you know what? It honestly doesn't matter, because with the sneak attack sharpshooter, which orc do you immediately annihilate?
The unfriendly one.
Piercing shot.
Okay. So the dagger just goes into the side of his head, like hilt deep, just thunk, and like he just drops. He just ragdolls to the floor.
And then I'm gonna scoot away over there. That's my turn.
Okay. That brings us on to Croc's turn.
Okay. I'm just going to, like, Croc just sighs when Al jumps off the cart and goes like wildly sprinting into camp and just flicks the reins, and 40 feet of movement takes the cart and everybody else into the camp.
Okay, perfect. Just give me a moment to go grab the cart from the Theatre of the Mind map.
Yeah. So 30 feet got Al right to the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So we get in like another 10 feet.
Yes, indeed. So there is the cart. So that would be there.
I think so, yep.
So you may be here. I'm assuming the horse would be out in front.
I would think, yeah.
Can I put the... No, how do you... To the back. There we go. Perfect.
Cool.
2 friends.
Oh, piss. I removed the
wrong one.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is his initiative was 22, I think. Because he was right before Luna.
Which is exactly where it should be on the initiative order, so that's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just gonna get here and kind of like look around and like okay, like where am I needed type like thing.
Right.
I guess Croc is just gonna like hop off the cart.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, with one orc dead, those two at the other one.
Are those the only orcs in the camp? Is there stuff?
Those are the only orcs the party has seen so far.
I thought there was some warming themselves by the fire, though.
Yeah.
They moved.
Okay.
And there were perimeter guards that we haven't seen since we got here, but I don't think you guys know that.
Yeah, but we just came in on the cart, so I'm like, is there anything here?
There's nothing kicking off right now except the one living orc. But
Who's
you
Ma
get the
drinking,
sense that
buddy?
more will happen.
How do we sense
Okay.
that?
The battle music is playing in our heads.
Oh.
Yeah, the combat music's still on.